Hello and welcome back to the Go Home Show podcast, SPORF Wrestling, and I'm delighted to be joined by a man who's going to be taking on Walter for the NXTUK Championship on Thursday, Mr. Ilja Dragunov. How are you today?
I'm great, Michael. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Can't complain. And we start with that match on Thursday, a huge match. How are you feeling ahead of the title match?
It's hard to express my feelings towards this because it's something on Thursday like that people never see before. This is a new standard. This is brutality, violence. You can put it in so much more words, but redefined violence may be the best for this because it's just like two people leaving their soul there, going through pain, going through everything that is worth to hold the NXTUK Championship. This is something people don't want to miss.
Rewinding back 2 weeks ago, you teamed with Pete Dunne. A two-part question. How was that? And how did it feel to become the first person to pin Walter in NXT UK?
A lot of people talked about this, so there is probably like a reason for this, because this was like when wrestling is so unpredictable and something has happened all the time, when the action doesn't stop, that's entertainment. And that's what it was like to have this match. And to pin Walter, I think that's a proof of that's a really proof that I go with my head through things. I go head forwards like a lightning strike. There's no possibility to stop completely fluent energy, which is my body, and that's a sign for the people they shouldn't forget.
Obviously, last week we had the contract signing. It's fair to say you took a little bit of a beating. Are you still feeling the effects of last week's contract signing?
I feel everything. But that's the reason that keeps me moving, because that's my role in this whole thing, in this universe, probably, because I go through pain and people feel it. But it's the way how I treat pain that the people feel it even more, because they see me still walking and they hear me still talking and I'm still going through things, and there's just nothing that can stop me. Like, that's not arrogance. That's just like the fighting spirit being completely alive inside me. I don't stop. And I also won't stop on Thursday.
And obviously we got a little bit of a preview of what you'd look like with the title. How did that feel to hold it in your hands?
It really means a lot. It means a lot. It's like the pride that goes ahead with this, because so many great people fought for this. So many great people took the chance on this, hold this thing, and to have this title just to hold for a second was like a feeling of pure pride, and I think I'm worth it.
And would you say this is the biggest match of your career so far?
Yes, 100%. And this is something people would truly not forget. Not.
And does it almost feel like destiny that after the history that yourself and Walter have had throughout your years, that you're going to have the first title match back after the pandemic?
It feels like this. It feels like this. It always feels like history, because when I came very early into wrestling and I get to know who Walter is, even a lot of years ago, even when I just very freshly started, I always wanted to fight him, because I knew there is something we both can do which nobody will ever forget, like something truly special, something for ages. And we had moments and we had fights, and then all goes down into I mentioned WWE. Yeah, that's destiny. It truly is.
Say you get the win on Thursday, which I'm backing you for, and you could pick anyone to take on next as your first defense, who would that be and why?
If I truly think about this, I go with A-Kid. I think he's definitely a person people should pay attention to. Definitely. This talent, this work ethic, this kind of persona, and we already fought each other. Why not another time? These are things that could go on very special and very unpredictable. And that's what people look out for.
Looking at a bit of a profile on yourself, could you tell us how you first got into wrestling?
Oh, it was like kind of an accident, to be honest. I never was like a wrestling fan at the beginning, like most of the other guys probably. I live in Dresden, Germany, and there wasn't, like, years ago, it wasn't like a wrestling school or whatever. And so I get to know, like, per accident, just another person from a friend. That was Alexander Wolf. He trained me formally. And he was also the first person to make a wrestling school in Dresden. And when I started there, I just tried it a couple of times, recognized that I'm somehow a bit of able to do this, and I never stopped from this. And after this, I started to watch wrestling. But what was more important for me is that I always saw the art side of wrestling, like the possibility to truly tell a story, not like just a general, just a story about yourself. I think that makes a difference between like very great performers, that they showing the people the reality of them, like the true inside of them. And if you show the truth, who you are about, then the people get it because it's authentic. And everything I do in the ring is just being authentic. That's my strength.
Looking back at sort of your early career, what point did you realize, did it click in your head that like you could actually make a career out of this?
I think it was 2017. It was a lot of possibilities for me, and it was like the first year where I really get into matches and fights where I truly had the chance to going through pain, to show how I treat pain in the ring, how much I can express, how much I'm behind this fight and everything that happens, how real everything about me is. And it started in 2017. It was also the year where I get more and more possibilities to show who I am, and where I really recognize, okay, I am this person, I am this warrior in the ring, I am this kind of maestro, dictate the crowds with my orchestra music. I am this person. It's everything I have to give. And when I realized that I can use all this uniqueness through experience, I can make something out of this that people will remember, something different, not the best in the world or whatever, but just something never ever someone will forget.
Something that associated you is the word Umbragbar. Could you explain the story behind it and what it means to you?
Umbragbar is basically my life, and that's basically me. That's a German word, which means invincible in English. And it was a word I get like randomly in one of my first promos in Germany when I first started to do promos, and they told me like, yeah, do you have a word that describes you very well? And it was randomly Umbragbar. At this point of time, it had no very much sense behind this, but later, like when it started with 2017, where I really get a name by being a person fighting very hard, taking very much pain in the ring. Just doesn't matter what I get, I stand back up somehow, even like a zombie or whatever. This word get a lot of sense, and so Umbragbar, like just the way being like kind of broken but still moving forward, started to be my mentality. Like what I said before, something from wrestling came into my life, and I could just show the people who I truly are. And this is the perfect word around me, because Umbragbar doesn't mean that I don't lose. Everybody loses someday, maybe there or whatever. But I don't lay down and wait. I get back out on my feet. I doing step by step forward. Doesn't matter how many punches are in front of me, because if a punch is coming, I don't duck. I laugh about this. Because even if I get it, I still walk. That's Umbragbar. Doesn't matter what you get in life, how hard life can be, how many challenges there will be. I don't have any fear about this, because I truly believe I will still walk, because I'm Umbragbar. That's Ilja Dragunov. That's me, and this is 100% real.
Looking at when you signed for WWE, can you remember where and when you found out it was becoming official?
I think it was probably 2019 around, and it was weird, because I never like had goals, which is pretty weird, because I did wrestling with 100%, but I never had like goals to come to this place or to this place, and like WWE was also something like, yeah. But when it happened, it was so surreal to me, because if you don't expect a lot but give a lot, you can get a lot back from this. And it told me, yeah, you do something right, because I never expect a lot from life in general, just as a mentality wise for me, but I always give a lot. And I think this is the perfect thing to get a lot of good surprises.
Who was the first person you told when you got the official news that you'd be signing for WWE?
To my wife. To my wife. She was like she wasn't like surprised, but for her it was like kind of out of this world, and she was so proud. It made me so proud because my wife is also like a very bad workaholic like me, and yeah, she always have like a very high opinion on me, but she doesn't show it like in every day, like in every good relationship, just give it to yours. But on this day, she was very, very proud of me, and it was like, yeah, it was a great moment.
Within NXT UK, you work with two legends in the form of Triple H and Shawn Michaels. What's it like working with them?
If you see it from that perspective, there are two people who made like that thing so big for decades. And I remember, if you're doing something very long, you have sometimes the feeling of, okay, you don't have to learn anything anymore. This is like, not that I thought it, but you get just points where you think, okay, you got it. And when I came to this place and learned from them, I definitely know you don't know anything. You don't know anything. And this is inspiring because we people should never stop learning, and there's so much more to know. And it just keeps my hunger alive, hunger to get better. And being around those people is like maybe the ultimate gift from the perspective of learning.
And then just picking up as we mentioned there about you don't really know anything when you compare yourself to Triple H, Shawn Michaels. What's the best piece of advice they've given to you while you've been working with them?
Be who you are. That's actually it. I mean, like, every performer has this huge strength. That makes everything interesting because nobody is like the other. If it would be that way, it wouldn't be entertaining at all. And when the people realized who I am about, what my strengths are, what they can rely on, what the brand can rely on in my person, I just get the advice to do what I do. To do what I do, because everything stayed the same. I just put this thing into a new environment to show people something they never see before. And I'm very, very sure that the people before never saw something like Ilja Dragunov.
And finally, we're about 58 hours now from NXT UK kicking off with your title match. What would your final words be for anyone wanting to tune in to watch?
Don't miss this, because this will be a fight to survive. There's just something that people never see before, because nobody ever see before how people redefine violence and how two competitors leave their soul and all their pain in this ring. Trust me.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Ilja, and best of luck for Thursday at Arbor Tuning. Can't wait.